Okay, well, we understand we've got Larry Lasisi ready for us now. Larry, give us an update.
Oh, well, Chamberlain, it's been an interesting turn of events here. We were together here this morning when everything was getting set to commence. If you look behind me, you'll see some of the lines we had earlier when the people had lined out to commence of voting has now disappeared. They voted, and what you now have is majority of them have left. Some are sitting around, and a few are coming in, and they come in, vote. Some leave, some remain. But generally what we have here is just waiting, largely waiting for the 2 o'clock time when voting should end, and then collating and counting should commence. I would like to just say that it wasn't all smooth sailing from the point they started. We had a situation here where it appeared the agents at these polling units, and let me just make it clear that we have like 4 polling units here. I'm talking of the polling units. I'm not talking of some that have 2 polling points where you can vote. So 4 polling units from 004 to 007. And from 004 to 006, we had a situation where they had some complaints, some disagreements with agents. Some agents insisted that they would like to see the picture that is thrown up by the card reader. They had some impression that some voters were coming in not to vote at those units and were being allowed to vote. So that took some time. They had to sort that out. Now, when that was sorted out, voting commenced. Now, at 007, the last polling unit here, they didn't even commence at 8 o'clock. We had a situation where they didn't have all the register. They were supposed to have like 900 voters that should vote there, and they had 2 polling points. Now, from 001 to 500, they had the register for that polling point. But from above that, they didn't have. So the people at that polling unit disagreed and insisted that they will not commence voting until the whole register appeared, and eventually around 8:40, the complete register arrived and voting commenced. But since then, the voting has commenced. Little issues with the card readers taken care of, and the process continued. Some of those I've spoken with, they say they're satisfied. They think the process is going well as it should.
So, Larry, I mean, there were some reports online, as it were, concerning collation officers who, some reports indicated that they were likely to change some of them because they didn't perform satisfactorily following the presidential and National Assembly elections. Well, we did speak with Mr. Koye about it. He has his opinion. But was it an issue? Did it ever come up at any point in time while you reported or listened to what was going on?
Okay, well, that hasn't come up, Chamberlain. Interestingly, most of those that are here, that's the ad hoc staff, are those that were here before. And one of them that agreed to speak to me off camera said they feel that the experience they had in the first round of elections helped them to understand how to go about doing this better. And they're saying it's helped them to make the process faster. So they're the same ones that conducted the presidential and the legislative elections that have returned here. None of them have been changed to my knowledge. So that hasn't come up here for now.
Then tell us, what did you notice in terms of the coordination among security agencies at the polling unit or voting centers?
Okay, well, there's my own impression right here now is that there's just adequate, I'll put it. We have like two police officers that are uniformed at each polling unit here. And for the polling units that now have 2 voting points, you now have 1 officer for 1 unit for one point, and the other officer concentrates on the other polling point. But what's happened is that, if you understand, because just as I said earlier, we have like 4 units here, so they're spread thin as it is. But we also observed at a point that a detachment of a divisional police officer came round with a team, and they just observed and they left. Also, some military people came in here also, and then from that point they just looked around. One officer was left, then they went on. So largely any disagreement that happened here is being sorted out more by the people themselves, working with among themselves, those who are interested in making sure the process continues. So they've tried to assist the police officers here. But if you talk of a presence that would deter anyone, I would say it's just adequate here, nothing too heavy.
Great work, Larry. Thank you very much indeed, Larry Lasisi, our correspondent reporting from Kwara State. So, gentlemen, at least so far, he says all seems well. Especially here, but when they insisted on seeing the picture that came up on the smart card reader, I didn't hear that. I didn't see that coming.
It seems to suggest that maybe some card readers got missing and were brought back. Because that's the situation we had in Bayelsa State. If you remember, 63 card readers were unaccounted for by INEC. And INEC, as a matter of fact, issued out a statement saying that those in possession of those card readers should please hand them back.
Yeah, but they said they had not also been configured for those particular areas. So, but it was interesting. People just always want to check and double check. But that's not a bad
Perhaps their own way of protecting their votes.
which is their own rights, which is their
yes.
They can
I mean,
say, okay,
if
it's my picture there, I want to see that it's my picture.
Yeah.
And if party agents say that, okay, we also want to see that it is your face that is there.
Yeah, but
they're still part of the process.
But Mr. Makwe, I mean, we've got to shouldn't we talk about, or at least what do you think of the coordination among security agencies, particularly from what he saw in Kwara?
Well, I think there is a need for more coordination. You know, I still believe that we need a focal point for the security operatives across the board.
Isn't that the police?
Is the police, but I don't know if the police have somebody who is coordinating with the army or national security defense.
They have a situation room. They have a situation room
Yeah,
of the army where the police is.
Yeah, if they have it. Now, one thing I observed there was that the unarmed policemen who are the polling booths don't have radios. You know, they need to report if there is a situation room. The situation room should be receiving information whereby they will report that this is what is happening here, and then the quick response should be able to respond immediately if something is going on. But I don't see anybody with a radio there. And how do you communicate? Do you run down to tell them or something? You know, these are the kinds of gaps that need to be filled.
Now, this gap, sorry, this gap is what is responsible for so many deaths so far.
Yeah.
One of which you,
of course,
asked. Is that what you think it is?
No. It was a gap because, okay, this particular situation in Degema local government where the INEC official was bringing already collated ballot boxes or votes down to the local government collation center. And the soldiers that were at the waterside at the collation center mistook them for militants and fired. Now, back to communication systems again. If there was communication where they will be communicating to each other, they will know who are friendly forces and who are not friendly.
Were there no security representatives accompanying them? Yes.
There was a gunboat that was escorting them, but they were not communicating to each other. And it was getting dark, and the best thing the guy was, the security man did, was to open fire. You know, so these are gaps that have to be corrected by a coordinator somewhere, you know, or maybe we don't have enough adequate training before they went into the field.
So this kind of thing, this happened 2 weeks ago. You're telling us.
Yes,
and
on the 23rd. Yeah.
Anyone who hears that one will definitely say, "I'm not going to come out."
There are a lot of people. I called some people. I said, "You people should go out and vote." They said they're not going because some are coming from Port Harcourt down to the villages to go and do their voting, and they are not coming. Some have left the place because there are a lot of military presence shooting, and then they said they are not going again. So these are situations that we have to. The rule of engagement, I think, should be more clear, because when you have armed military people in the society, you know, remember, soldiers are supposed to fight at the periphery of the country, external enemies. But when you bring them in there must be a rule of engagement. You know?
Okay, anyway, we'll pick up on that when we come back in a moment. Do stay with us.